I moved to Washington State to Olympic National Park when I was 7 years old. It was a rainforest. It's one of the only temperate rainforests in the United States. And so I grew up in the middle of the woods with just my mom and dad and 4 brothers, and we had 2 neighbors. All right, now you try it. All right, so what direction? So clear it. Now, where do you want him to go? Forward. You go forward 1. And you want him to turn, and you go forward. I was born in Port Jervis, New York. My parents lived at Delaware Water Gap, where my dad was a park ranger. And so I was born up there, but we didn't stay up there very long. We moved to Arkansas when I was probably like 6 or 9 months old, when I was still a baby. I lived in a park because my dad was a park ranger, and he had to live near or in the national park. Now the park is really big. So it has rainforests, it has really high mountains and glaciers, there were oceans, and all kinds of wild animals. And he was in charge of that and other rangers, so we had to live close to that. For fun, we did a lot of crazy stuff because we had no neighbors and we were the only kids out there. So my brothers and I would play outside a lot. Whenever it would rain, and it would rain a lot, our front yard would flood, so we'd get the canoe out and we'd canoe in our front yard. And my mom tells the story that when we were little and it would snow, they'd come plow the road, and you'd have a big pile of snow, and we would sled down the snow into the flooded puddle, which sounds really, really cold, and I probably wouldn't do that now. But we'd do a lot of stuff outside. We'd go hiking and exploring and climbing in trees and playing in the river. I learned about where I lived. I learned about the trees and the animals. I could identify trees. I could, if I saw or heard an animal, I knew which one it was. But I also learned about people, because people would come from all over the world to visit the national park. So I got to meet people from all over the world and talk with them and hear their stories as well. I came to York, Pennsylvania in 2008. I received an internship at the York Dispatch, and I had gone to college for communications and photography. So the newspaper hired me as a photojournalist. I came to take pictures and learn about the area, and then I started dating a guy who was from York, my husband Zach, and then we got married, and no one told me that if you marry a local, you're never leaving. Yay, lights light up. When I worked for the newspaper, I would cover community events. I would go to all these things and take pictures of the community, but I wanted to be part of the community and to work within the community. And so I thought it would be fun to come and work with kids and work with people within my community so that I could help make it stronger and share the skills and experiences that I have with them.
Tell me your name.
My name is Elizabeth Bleacher, and I go by Liz.
Please tell me, where was you born, and tell me what you remember about it.
Well, I was born in Port Jervis, New York.